Many older men dream of the attention of younger women, but few dare to openly discuss what it actually implies. We live in a time when society condemns men who prefer younger partners, labeling them as insecure, manipulators, or even ridiculous. However, the attraction between people of different ages is as old as humanity itself. An important point rarely mentioned is that young women often actively seek older men. Why does this happen? They realize that in such relationships they can gain what young people their age cannot offer: experience, self-confidence, and a more defined masculinity. But this is where the controversial part begins. When a young woman desires closeness with an older man, she does not do it directly. She won't openly tell you, "I want to make love to you." That would be too simple. Instead, she will test you through questions, comments, and behaviors aimed at verifying whether you are truly the mature man you seem or just a 40-year-old afraid of aging and craving validation from 20-year-olds. It is important to understand that female sexual attraction is rarely expressed in clear words. It manifests through hidden, indirect signals and psychological hints. A young girl who wants to be with you doesn't admit it directly, but will give signs disguised as questions. If you cannot recognize them, you are likely to miss the opportunity. The most common mistake older men make is misinterpreting a woman's curiosity as mere politeness. She is not just sweet with you. She is evaluating whether you can handle sexual tension while maintaining control. And here lies the uncomfortable truth. Most men fail this test. They either react like desperate teenagers or take a defensive stance, as if the age difference is a shame to be hidden. Both approaches instantly kill attraction. Now think about what it would be like if you knew exactly what questions a young woman asks when she considers spending the night with you. What if you could decipher her hidden hints and respond in a way that ignites her desire, rather than cools it? This would give you an advantage not based on insincere tricks, but on the calmness and confidence that only a mature man can convey. This video is not for everyone. It is not intended for those who are insecure and crave validation from a young woman. It is created for men who understand that female attraction should not be begged for, but inspired. Those who know that being older is not a disadvantage, but a strategic advantage, if you can correctly interpret what she is really saying. This is exactly what we will talk about today. The 3 key questions a young woman may ask when her interest in you goes beyond simple conversation. The first question is how old you really are. It's a kind of test of your confidence. The first question, how old are you really? It's a test of your confidence. When a young woman asks this, she's not just curious about numbers. She's trying to gauge how self-assured you are. She is already guessing your age, seeing it in your appearance, manner of dressing, and the energy you radiate. Her goal is to understand whether this makes you uncomfortable, or if you accept this fact with pride. That's the essence. Young women do not reject older men because of the numbers in their passports, but because of the shame that men feel about their age. If you respond nervously, lower your voice, or even lie, it shows that you do not accept yourself as you are. And if you do not accept your age, how can she respect your leadership? The question of age is like a mirror reflecting your true attitude towards time. She wants to understand if you are different from your peers, more mature, confident, and capable of making decisions. If you respond with pride and without excuses, you send her a powerful message. I am a mature man, and that is what makes me attractive. The biggest mistake one can make in this situation is to take a defensive stance and say something like, "I'm not that old," or "You probably see me as your father." All these phrases create an image of a person who feels judged. Instead, if you respond calmly with a hint of humor, you will show that your age is your ally, not your enemy. Think about it. For her, your age is not a problem, but a contrast. She is surrounded by insecure guys just beginning to understand what it means to be a man. You embody experience, control, and confidence. But if your first reaction is to hide behind your age, you lose that advantage. Imagine a situation. You are talking to a much younger girl, and at some point she slyly asks how old you really are. Most men would feel embarrassed. Some would even try to give a smaller number, thinking it would enhance their value. But not you. You look at her with a slight smile and honestly respond, hiding nothing. It's not too revealing, but enough to show that you have no intention of wasting time on games. And then, silence. She laughs, bites her lip, and changes the subject. What happened? It's simple. Instead of falling into her trap and making excuses, you used your age as a weapon of attraction. This not only relieved the tension, but also made you unique in her eyes compared to other men who desperately try to appear as something they are not. Remember, your age is your filter. If you are ashamed of it, she will notice and distance herself. If you accept him with confidence, he will become the very reason she desires you. The second question: do you have a girlfriend or someone else? This is a question of power. When a young woman asks you such a question, she seeks to find out how much you are liked by others. At first glance, this may seem like simple curiosity, as if she is just interested in whether you have a girlfriend. But in reality, it is a way to assess her significance in your life and understand how attractive you are to others. Few men understand that women do not wish to have beside them someone whom no one else wants. A man with no choice demonstrates his need, which in turn kills attraction. Therefore, when she asks about your relationships, it is important for her to determine whether you are that rare man whose value is high and not everyone can attain. For example, phrases like, "No, I have no one, I am only interested in you," sound like expressions of despair, inadvertently hinting to her that she is your only option, putting you at a disadvantage. Remember, attraction is created not from need, but from abundance. A woman wants to feel that you choose to be with her, not that you depend on her. The right approach is to not lie or boast, but to demonstrate calmness and a certain ambiguity. You don't need to go into details, but it's important to convey the feeling that your life is interesting, that you are not empty, and do not need anyone for affirmation. Imagine a situation. You are talking to a young girl, and suddenly, with curiosity and cunning, she asks if you have a girlfriend or anyone else. Most men hurry to respond, "No, nothing like that," as if caught in a lie. You remain calm, smiling, and say, "You know, I never have enough company, but I don't let just anyone stay for long." What happened? You made her understand that you have options, that you are not a lonely man clinging to the first offer that comes along. At the same time, you throw her a subtle challenge. If she wants to take a place in your life, she needs to prove that she deserves it. This creates attraction because it activates her instinct of competition and the desire to conquer you. Such a question becomes a kind of test. If you give in to need, she will lose interest. If you respond calmly and confidently, your value will instantly increase. Remember, women do not seek a good man without relationships. They seek someone attractive to others, but available to few. If she contemplates intimacy with you, this question only confirms her interest. She wants to know how she competes with others and if she can stand out in your eyes. Thus, the question she asks serves as a filter for your intentions. When a young woman inquires if you have someone, she actually reveals your psychology in mere seconds. She is less concerned about the literal answer than the energy you convey. This is truly a powerful filter. Here you can understand whether you are a conscious man who knows what he wants or just another lost person seeking validation in a young woman. Most men here fail. Why? Because they respond from a place of lack. The responses they give sound like, "I just want a serious relationship with you. I'm tired. I strive for stability. I've never met anyone like you." But what does the woman really hear? "I am empty. I need you to save me. Give meaning to my life." And at that moment, the attraction disappears. The young woman is not looking for a man to fill her emotional gaps. She seeks someone who already has a complete and stable life, but chooses her to share his joys. This is the harsh truth that many do not want to hear. Too many older men chase after young women, unable to accept the aging process. They feel invisible to women of their generation and believe that relationships with younger girls prove they are still significant. This is not real attraction. This is disguised insecurity. The uncomfortable truth is that if you seek a young girl just to prove to others that you are still desirable, she will quickly notice it. It's energy. "I need you to evaluate me," a repelling mindset. And even if she decides to spend the night with you, there will be no respect. You will become just a temporary trophy, not a man she admires. How should one approach this question? It's quite simple, with clarity and personal boundaries. This means you don't react as if you're being interrogated, but rather steer the conversation in your direction, showing that you know exactly what you want, and your interest isn't born out of desperation, but is based on your criteria as a man. Imagine her staring intently at you and asking, "What are you looking for in a girl like me?" An unremarkable man, full of insecurity, responds with a long confession, full of explanations and promises. You, smiling, calmly tell her, "I'm looking for good energy, sincerity, and real chemistry." If age matters, it's just a detail, nothing more. Such a response does two things. First, you restore power to your criteria. You're with her not because she's young, but because she meets your standards. Second, you show that you don't need justifications. You do not rush to explain or defend your interest. You simply assert it naturally. This confuses and simultaneously attracts her, as you have just distinguished yourself among men who tell her what they think she wants to hear. Here is a lesson that many need. If you don't know what you want, women will sense it and use you for their ego, for entertainment, or to fill time gaps, but they will never respect you. And if there's no respect, the rest doesn't matter. Yassine's advice: stop hiding behind her youth as if it were your excuse. Wake up. Her age does not give you value. Your value is defined by your confidence, clarity, and ability to make choices. A young woman seeks to determine whether your interest stems from genuine attraction or the fear of aging. If the latter prevails, you have no chance of success. So the next time she asks you this question, remember that she is not expecting a romantic confession, but trying to assess your essence. There are two options. Either you demonstrate that you are a confident man who knows what he wants, or you confirm that you are just another person trying to buy youth, unable to look at yourself in the mirror. The choice is yours. We have come to the end of this topic, and if you listened carefully, you noticed something important. When a young woman shows interest in an older man, it's not because he is more affluent or has a kind heart. She wants to see if his age has brought him maturity, or if he is just an adolescent with wrinkles. It sounds harsh, but it's true. Many men believe that a few extra years automatically grant them respect, but this is not the case. Age is not a guarantee of maturity. If you lack confidence, clarity, and inner strength, even being twice as old, you will remain unnoticed by her. And here is the most provocative statement. Young women do not seek older men. They look for those who are not afraid of life. If you are older but continue to act like a child, she will see in you the same insecurity as in boys her age, lost and weak. The problem lies not in age, but in the lack of character. I want you to realize this. Every time a woman asks you questions about your age, whether you have a girlfriend or what you seek in a girl like her, she is actually holding up mirrors to you. She wordlessly says, "Show me that you are a real man, not an old man pretending to be young." And here is the trap that has led many astray. They seek confirmation instead of genuine connection. They are nervous, trying to please, promising what they cannot fulfill, ultimately becoming just an experiment in this girl's life instead of being the man she truly respects and desires. If I want you to take something important from this message, remember, your worth is not determined by how much older or younger you are. It depends on your ability to look in the mirror and be proud of the man you are today. If your life is unstable, no woman, neither young nor your age, can fill this void. Now I want this to be a real dialogue between us. Write in the comments if a young woman has ever asked you similar questions. How did you respond? Did he feel that he missed an opportunity by reacting nervously or uncertainly? Write about it, because I need to hear every experience and respond to it. I don't want it to be just a monologue. I want to create a space for communication from man to man without filters or masks. Believe me, what happened to you happens to thousands of others. And I will leave you with this last thought. The young woman does not seek to destroy you when she tests you. She wants to ensure you match the image of the man you have created for yourself. If you can't cope, it's not her fault. It's solely your responsibility. It's important to rise, look at yourself in the mirror, and decide it's time to leave childish habits behind to become a true man of character. It's crucial to choose wisely which version of yourself you will show.